Okay, y'all. We just saw the first run through, so I'm sure during this live, um, we'll talk again. We'll be able to react in the moment. I told y'all when I first saw this that I thought y'all were all crazy, thinking that this wouldn't qualify. And I understand that there are some of you who really, really like hate this song. Like you just feel like you hate it. Um, I'm sorry. This is qualifying, so just go on and prepare yourself. It's going to be in the final. There are juries who are going to include this, and people are going to pick up the phone and call for it. I think I had said before that I probably would have thought about having Israel open the show. This is why. The stage looked beautiful. They're doing a lot of and actually it's interesting because we talked about this with Finland's entry. So many people have been talking about, oh, the sun, and, the sun is blocking things. But the whole bottom floor of the stage is LED. So you can project stuff there. And I think what's really effective about this performance and is the fact that the usage of the LEDs on the floor is just and the angles with which we're capturing a lot of these moments. It's thoughtful, it's clean, it looks professional. It almost gives you those vibes of like this is an interval act coming on to a certain degree, like where it just feels like a really professional performance. I've said this, for a while, what Mikhail Ben David is a vocalist. Is a vocalist. I mean, which is another reason why I'm like, I would have probably felt more comfortable as a producer just having Israel open my show, just because it's like we know it's going to be solid vocally. It's just going to be there. Someone said potential qualify more than potential. I'm saying it's qualifying, but I said it was going to qualify before. I said that it was going to qualify before. I think also some people were just like, oh, but you have too many songs kind of qualifying from the first half of the show. And I would just have to say that we are living in anomaly times. Just because things happened in the past doesn't mean that that's the path that we have to traverse and walk now. Yeah. um, Alexandra, his vocals are so good. And the thing is, they're good and effortless. Again, Mikhail Ben David is a vocalist. Is the vocalist. When we talk about the differences between people who are singers, people who can just like, sing a song, and like vocalists, real athletes when it comes to interpreting a vocal and when it comes to delivering a vocal on stage. Um, Mikhail Ben David. I'm gonna say this like I'm gonna say Michael differently like every single time. He's accompanied by four dancers, and I think there is another. I think there actually is another like a featured dancer at one point. Um, it's it's just so effective, and Israel must have like a real culture of dance because we've been getting like these. I don't know if the dancers are Israeli, but just noting I've been noticing even from like the X Factor performances, we have like some really experienced like dancers from Israel. Maybe more Eurovision acts should be thinking about hitting up Israel for the dancers because it's just again it's just effective. The way that they're doing it is so effective. The shots are thoughtful. I will say, like, if I'm gonna get picky, I should get picky. Okay. If there's one thing I change, there's one moment where you actually see projected on the floor like I am. We don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need it. We could just have it projecting like regular squares. Are y'all cool with that picky moment? I'm like, if I had a picky moment, that's it. Yeah. Steven, I like hope. I like this hope it qualifies. It's qualifying. It's qualifying. Steven, we need a mix in the final so we need cheerful fun songs. Yeah, to balance. That is the thing. But to be honest, I think both me personally and my producer hat wants this in the final. And I think it's going to I think it's going to end up there. Renovich says yes, they're all Israelis. Yeah, I think that Israel is having some type of culture of dance where I don't know the dance studios, the people it was like as if they got their start maybe 20 years ago. because now we have this crop of just really, really good dancers that hit it. Him sing talking ruins the song, let's be honest. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think it's like levels. We need levels to it. Yeah. I like the revamp, but would have loved the fans if this were the original. I mean, I think I would. I liked the. I actually liked the original more than the revamp. I think we all kind of have agreed that Israel maybe fumbled the bag a little bit with this revamp. Yeah. Tomos, I agree. Often no need to be so literal with staging and lyrics. Yes. Beluga, do you think people will forget Israel after Serbia perform? No. 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 Steven, it's okay. I'm drinking espresso now. Bonnie, you should be happy for Israel. Israel's making it through. Israel's definitely making it through. Ranovich, I like Israel in the contest just because they never play safe. That is true. That is true. Israel really does go for it. Okay, I think we're gonna get a second run. So I will try to stay live in the second run. Official Spencer. Israel is borderline. Serbia better qualify. Well, Serbia is going to qualify. Serbia is going to qualify. What is the question? We knew that. And Serbia and Israel are not really in the same bucket. I wouldn't have put them next to each other in the running order, though. I definitely wouldn't have done that. I don't know what they were thinking. That was silly. Okay, we're getting the second run. Effortless. Effortless. We have him wearing this sort of stylized white suit. He's in a mirrored room. We have nice camera angles with different angles of him looking. It's extremely effective. I would say this is on a level of Alesia camera angles, like the stuff that I like, that I would do for an artist. We do have the kind of runway walk situation. The stage looks really good in this performance. I know I am. Yeah, and it's like the subtle moments, and we build up. 22? Yes. I love sort of the subtle choreo that we have, and I will tell you right now, Michael's actually mark dancing. He's hitting everything, but you can tell that he's like, I don't have to dance full out right now, and I so appreciate him for that. But it's also crazy because it's like he's still hitting. Even though he's marking, he's still hitting. Yeah. And then I'm telling you, these camera angles where the floor is lit up. Smart. Smart. Yeah, I would take out, this is the part where they have I am show up on the floor, and I wouldn't do that at all. I would drop that. Na, 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 no, I am. Oh, yeah. Like, see, this is a song that really is like, yeah, you have to see it as a full piece. So you might not be enjoying listening to it on your playlist, but visually, you are going to have a ball, which is what Eurovision is. Oh, come through. Oh, yeah, it's so good. So good. Sorry. It's so good. Come through. Y'all. This is good. This is good. I remember in my first reaction, because everyone was trying to trash this song. I'm sorry. Y'all were wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong. You were wrong. You know I am. No, this is a full piece, y'all. Give it to me. Israel just did the damn thing. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, wait. Georgios, do you think Israel or Finland has a higher chance of qualifying? Israel. Quiet as this kept, Finland's chances might have gone down. Because I don't think it helps for Finland to be next to Israel. Serbia and Israel are so different from each other, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Nothing's like really trumping them because they're different. Finland, even though it's different, the problem is the vocal. The vocal, because we knew Mr. Ben David was going to have it together with vocal. Okay? Beluga, Israel better have pyro in the last. They probably will. Yeah. I imagine they don't have to use it now. We can save the budget. But I imagine Georgios, Michael Wamio. See, I'm telling you, it's the full package, y'all. That's what it is. It's the full package. Okay, and actually, I could show y'all a little bit of the press room. So I'm sat like in the corner of the press room, and this is sort of the setup because I wanted to make sure I didn't have a whole bunch of people like walking behind me and stuff. And then also, with sound can be kind of an issue sometimes. So definitely wanted to be in a space that was a little bit far removed from things. But yeah. Finland competitor not only besides Israel, but also them. Yes, I actually said that earlier in the stream. That I was like, Finland's competition is going to be San Marino. And people might want to buy that over Finland, but I don't know. I mean, it's just the Rasmus. Again, producer me wants the Rasmus in the final, but I don't necessarily need it there. Oh wait, Alexandra, what do you think about the tent? Is the press room better this year than others? Well, I haven't been in that many press rooms, so let me start that off. So I'm like, I can't judge that much. I mean, I will say in Lisbon, the press room was a structure, but the fan area was like a tent. And yesterday, what hurt things was it started raining and storming. And if you didn't have like a good mic, you were just going to hear really like over everything. So that's the challenge of not having like a fixed structure. It can create sound issues. I will say it feels a little bit cold today, but I've got my sweatshirt. I have my sweatshirt on, so I am feeling. I'm one of those people. As long as like my arms are kind of covered, like I can stay relatively warm. But yeah, it's a little bit chilly today, but that's the weather. But I guess the other thing, if you're not in a permanent structure, you're a little bit more susceptible to the elements holistically. Israel was big. Israel was a really large press room. And I would say the thing I didn't like about Israel was everything was so far apart from each other. So like to get to the interview rooms was like, it was like a 5-minute walk. So that was kind of difficult. Whereas here it's like, okay, the interview suites are in here. The press conference room is attached. And I think too, like the press conference room was separate. In Lisbon, it was separate. So it is nice to have something that is built where then everything can be sort of close to each other. So then you can, hop to one place to the other. So, yeah. Okay. Then we got Steven. I can see me on my 14th of May. Yeah, vibing to this. I think some of the people who are like, ugh, I just don't like it, I think they're going to be won over. I really, really do. Because, again, it's not about the studio cut. It's the whole piece. Like, I knew that this was going to qualify, and I liked it when I first heard it. But I wasn't necessarily jamming to the studio cut. But, again, I wasn't necessarily expecting to. It was a full piece that I knew we were going to be. Israel's competitor supposedly is Ireland, Romania. Well, I think Israel's competition is Romania. Obviously, Romania has the better running order. But I think it's going to be hard to forget Israel. And if I picked between the two, I'm definitely picking Israel, even though Romania has the stronger studio cut. So, what Georgia says, the thing is, I think you're saying you now enjoy Israel more than Finland. Wow. Well, that's interesting. But I'm going to sign off here, watch this third rehearsal, and then get prepared for the rest of the stuff that we have for today. Thank you.